Welcome back to Bird's Eye View. When it comes to the Orioles, this podcast is your official source for a lack of insight and for baseless opinions. Today, well, it's Friday, June 12th, 2026, and this is episode 429. My name is Scott Magnus.
And I'm Jake English.
On this week's show, we'll smash the potpourri dish to pieces and spread the bits around.
We'll also see if there is some trouble for our birds of paradise.
We'll do that right after we get started. Let's just go right into it. Let's go around the bases. Jake, it's a new step. We're remorse and melancholy last week. Like I said, there was a little bit of what are we doing with this team, and I think we've looked at that from fans in terms of looking at social media, of saying I hate this team, I can't believe I'm watching this, to we're so back.
It's a natural cycle, right? The I hate this team straight to we're so back.
Yeah, it is a natural cycle in sports fandom. Again, we've talked about this as Orioles fans. I think we're a little bit more burnt on the edge to go more with I hate this team, just in terms of how this current franchise is run, but just historically, the Orioles have been no goodwill to their fan base over this time.
Dude, sometimes I think, man, I hate this team on games that we win.
Yeah, so it's like, why did it have to be this way?
But I think, over the past couple of weeks, I at least have entered an additional step into the cycle, and that is, well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Right? Because there have been plenty of games where you look back and you're like, oh, that was fun. And look, some of those are not even wins, right? You look at them and you're like, oh, that is a loss that a regular Major League Baseball club has, and it is not horrifically embarrassing. And I'm trying to live more in that area.
Yeah, sports is supposed to be entertainment and is not a representation of you or yourself.
Here is a moment.
It's like Worldwide Wrestling.
Is it like that?
Pretty much.
Are the Orioles like Worldwide Wrestling?
Pretty much. I mean, I don't think I was about to say the Saudi Arabian interests are not there. But again, Dave Rubenstein probably has some money in Saudi Arabia with the private equity group. So maybe we truly are just owned by a Saudi Arabian equity group.
That is possible. I was thinking to myself that nature was healing itself a bit, because I skeeted out something the other day where I said, you know what? The team has been playing well enough that they have earned my silence for that horrible inning. I typed it up, I hit send, and then I looked at the text on my screen and I said, who wrote that? What well-adjusted, emotionally stable person that pays attention to the Orioles wrote that? I don't know, Scotty. We say that winning fixes everything, but is it possible that a stretch of baseball that isn't just absolutely miserable is also pretty okay?
It's either that or Lexapro, but again, we'll see what happens.
Por qué no los dos?
Yeah, exactly.
Friend. But since we last left our heroes here on these microphones, the Orioles have done the following. They swept the Rays in a series of 3. They went 3-4 with the Blue Jays over the course of 2 series. They split with the Mariners in a 4-game series. And in that stretch, they went 10-7.
I think I even saw a post from Andy Koska, who basically indicated that they had gone at a 600 winning percentage over the past 20 games. You take that out over the entire season, they would end up at 88 wins, even with, some bad stretches there earlier in the season. Certainly, I think 88 wins get you a wild card spot. But you're right. The Orioles have been playing fun and entertaining baseball. And again, there's been some games where you're just like, I don't need to watch the rest of this. I'm going to just go ahead and turn this off. Yeah, it's been somewhat enjoyable.
But I don't know about you, but when I have those moments where I'm good, I don't need to watch the rest of this, I find myself less pissed than I had been a couple of weeks ago, where it was like, second inning, give up a 2-run home run, and I'm like, nah, I'm out, I'm done, forget this.
That's good. I mean, that again, you're going through the stages of despair. You've now come to coping with the given despair, and knowing you and fellow Orioles fans, you're eventually going to fall back into deeper despair in the future.
Are you saying that Baltimore Orioles fandom is a pit of despair?
Yes, it's a swamp of sadness, basically. But yeah, I mean, the Orioles still have a lot of ground to cover. I mean, the Orioles got really, really close to getting that wildcard spot. In fact, at one point in the evening, the Orioles did have that last wildcard spot.
Stop the count.
And then they lost it when the Rangers won. But yeah, they're still 4 games under 500. They're 9.5 games back from the Rays. And they're 2 games out as of Friday evening of the AL wildcard. Again, not an insurmountable number, but I come back and I look at this and I say, there's some good there. There's some bad there. And I think the record reflects that. I think 4 games under 500 makes sense for what we have seen so far this season. I don't think it's good luck. I don't think it's bad luck. I think this team looks like a 500 team to me.
But also, take a look at what we were begging for back in May. We just want some kind of sign that they're going to hang around long enough that there might be hope later on in the season. Right now, they're doing the hanging on bit that we would have hoped they would have done earlier. I feel like we may have even gotten to the stabilization point. Maybe.
Is this season 1 of Bird's Eye View where we're like, hey, just get to September and be playing competitive baseball?
With the way that the AL is right now,
is time a flat circle?
No, time is a pit of despair.
Okay, that's true.
All right, so that is first base. First base is, look, things are not all that bad. Add a new step into your cycle of fandom and live in that Lexapro middle for a little bit.
And if you're still living and dying with every single game, maybe get some perspective.
You know how we ran ads a couple of weeks ago when Charlie was here?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we need a Orioles mood enhancer.
I like that.
All right,
I like that.
I'm going to write that down for the ideas people. All right, let's head over into second base. And Scotty, I'm a little concerned that there may be some trouble in Orioles paradise. Specifically, I want to know what the heck is going on between Samuel Basallo and Craig Alvarez. Basallo seems to have a couple of small nagging injuries, and I thought that those were the things that were keeping him out of the lineup. But there's definitely something else going on. And first, I just want to be clear. You and I have no idea of what's going on.
Lack of insight, basis opinion. There is no intel here.
That is what we do. But if you look at the situation, right, the original comments that trickled out made it sound like the team or maybe Alvarez himself was dissatisfied with Basallo's willingness or ability to play through injury. And, you know, there's a quote that goes along with that talks about, you know, learning to play through adversity. But something doesn't add up. If you look at the last pregame presser with Alvarez, he was asked question after question after question about why Basallo wasn't in the lineup. Mm-hmm. And the thing he talked about was Basallo having great work days and about his preparation and being available on the bench. I really feel like we're looking at something that's disciplinary here.
It totally seems that way since he was out doing batting practice and everything. And again, like you said before, he was available for pinch hitting and also was able to come in and catch him. So, yeah, there's something else going on here. And we have no idea what it is, but it's certainly odd. You know, Basallo changed his Instagram pic. I'm not going to read too much into that. But, yeah, it's weird. And not great timing, too, with Adley dealing with a hamstring as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we don't know what's going on. I don't want to speculate that the Orioles are overreacting or that Craig Alvarez is failing at managing the clubhouse. I don't want to say that, obviously Samuel Basallo is doing something that's ridiculous. Like, we can't speculate. We don't know what the extent of the disagreement is about. One of the things that I thought was interesting is that Alvarez talked about this being a long-term thing for Basallo, right? We're not worried. We're interested in his long-term development. Long-term, this is good for Samuel. I don't know. We'll have to see how that shakes out. I don't think, with what little we've seen with Alvarez, that this is going to be allowed to grow into something that becomes
a bony growth.
I was going to say a clubhouse problem.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say bony growth is just a weird injury as well to be like, what do you mean he's got a bony growth? Like,
but it's also like I've heard a lot of people say, well, maybe he's not coming in prepared. He's 21 years old. Maybe he's not getting enough sleep, whatever that means. But I don't want to say it's that, but it's clearly a team rule being broken.
Could this just be growing pains?
It's a bony growth. Something's up, and we don't know what that something is. I'll be curious to see how long this lingers, and the Orioles win. This becomes a back burner story.
Yeah.
It becomes something that gets ignored. Yeah. All right, let's take a gander here into third base. I want to just do a quick check-in, Scott, to see how things are going with this particular season. I will say that I've been vocal about my disappointment with Chris Bassitt for the season.
And pitching in general.
Yes, pitching in general, certainly. But he has been the recipient of a lot of my attention. But I started to wonder, somewhat uncomfortably, I guess, how different things might be if the Orioles had made another choice in the offseason. The big names, TM, if you will. This offseason were Framber Valdez and Ranger Suarez.
Who were linked to the Orioles.
Both got pretty big contracts.
Yeah.
So let's just compare and contrast, shall we?
Sure.
There are lots of ways that you can measure a pitcher. I'm going to go off the back of the baseball card just for now.
Sure.
We can have discussions about their peripherals and all that kind of other stuff. But let's just, let's take a dumb look at what they've done. Chris Bassett, coming into this season, his career numbers at the major league level, 87 and 69 with a 3.71 ERA.
All right. That's pretty good.
He had pitched to a whip of 126 over the course of his major league
serviceable. Maybe
Sure.
maybe not ace level, but
he's a major league pitcher.
major league pitcher. Yeah.
Sure. In 2026, he is 4-4 if that means anything.
Yeah.
He's pitched to a 5.27 ERA.
Okay.
And he has pitched 56.1 innings
Okay.
over his 12 appearances.
Okay.
And he has a whip of 1.63.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
Ooh.
you look at this, and again,
So 1.26 to 1.63.
Right. You throw out the wins and losses. That doesn't really matter to me. What I look at is how many innings have you managed to amass? How long have you been able to stay in games? 56.1 over 12 games.
Yeah.
Not great, Bob.
Not great.
And a whip that is, 0.4 higher than your career average.
Yeah.
Okay. That seems like a bummer. But hey, look, it's not to say that things would have been better if these other guys were here. Let's just take a look. Framber Valdez, his career, 84 and 57. Again, if those things even matter. A 3.43 ERA. He also has a career whip of 1.21. So
all right.
Look at that. Not that different.
Not that different. I would say certainly a bit higher in terms of, we'll call it a career ERA that puts him into that 1 or 2 spot like we've discussed before for Framber Valdez.
But again, the career ERA is 3.43 versus 3.71. So it's not crazy.
No.
And again, the career whip 121 versus 126.
Yeah.
Not crazy different.
Yeah.
And again, there are a lot of other things. This is just sheer back of the baseball card. This year,
The stats that Manny Machado likes.
Framber Valdez.
Back when America was great again.
Nope, I'm going to leave that right where it is. Framber Valdez this season is pitching to a 4.40 ERA at a record of 3-5 with 14 starts. He has pitched 77.2 innings.
That's better than 56, right?
It is better. I believe that this means he leads the league in strikeouts at 61. That is a different color. This is a different color text.
I don't think that's maybe it is the league. Yeah, that's possible.
And his whip is 1.34. So again, higher than his career average.
But certainly not bad.
But certainly not 1.63.
I think Orioles fans would be losing their minds right now with Framber Valdez if he had a 4.4 ERA and we signed him to a long-term contract. I think the pitchforks would be out.
Okay.
If I'm being completely candid.
And look, hey, he has one fewer win.
Since that matters.
All right, let's look at Ranger Suarez. Ranger Suarez came in with a career 55 and 40 record with a career ERA of a very respectable 3.36.
Okay.
He had a career 1.26 whip.
Okay.
This season, again, if these things even matter, he has a 2-3 record for your Boston Red Sox. He is pitching to a 3.18 ERA.
All right.
He has appeared in 65 innings over 12 games with 63 strikeouts and a whip of 1.14.
So 65 is better than 56, correct?
Very much so.
And 1.14 is better than 1.63.
Way, way better. And below his career average.
Right.
But, we talked about the need to go out and get a real starter in the offseason. And you can't just plug and play with stats and say, oh, if Framber Valdez was here, he would be doing the same thing. Or if Ranger Suarez was here, he'd be doing the same thing, right? All of these things are condition specific, and I know that. But I think, particularly with Ranger Suarez, you look at that and you say, you plug a guy like that in our lineup, and maybe we've got the equivalent of a stopper, and we feel a lot better about how we do. The Boston Red Sox, outside of some steps that they made to fix some starting pitching, have a lot of holes on their team.
Sure.
Maybe the Orioles, not so many holes, but you can't know. But Scotty, we didn't just talk about frontline starters this offseason. For Carol of the Birds, we talked about a series of scenarios.
Are we going to talk depth signings?
What happens if you sign a frontline starter, like a Valdez or a Suarez? What happens if you go middle ground?
Yep.
And you get a Chris Bassett?
Yep.
And then we went the opposite
The gray despair. Which, again, very 2026 so far.
Here we are.
Yeah.
And then we went the other direction and said, what happens if we trade or sign JP Sears? You may be asking yourself, who is JP Sears? He's in the San Diego Padres organization.
Oh, are we going against him this week?
We are not.
Oh.
We are not.
Oh, so he's like in between starts.
No, well, he might be.
He might be.
he would be in between starts in AAA El Paso for
El Paso.
Let's just take a look at see how JP Sears is doing. By the way, his major league career, he's 31-41.
Okay.
If those things matter, with a 4.53 career ERA.
Already sounds like a Baltimore Oriole.
With a career WHIP of 1.27.
Okay.
This season in the minors, he has a 7.54 ERA with a 1.81 WHIP. And I don't know what you say, but to me, that screams Baltimore Oriole.
Listen, this is a clear indication that Michael Elias did the right thing and just skipped out on free agency and just, went with the cavalry.
He did not. He did not skip out, Scott. That's not fair.
That's true. He did go get Chris Bassett.
He did not philosophically participate.
Yeah.
So, look, I have been very critical of Chris Bassett, but if you look at some of these names, it might not be much better.
Again, I think let's hypothetically say the Orioles to go out and get Ranger Suarez. Certainly, I think this team would be better. Would they be 5 games over 500 better? No. But I think that they might be a game or two over 500. But it is what it is.
They might be a game or two over 500, Scott, but think about it. The shareholders might be $1 or $2 poorer.
What would the Truist Club think?
What would the Truist Club? What would the Truist?
Someone please think of the Truist Club.
All right, so we can talk about Chris Bassett being his.
By the way, have I talked to you about the Truist Club and that you can be a part of the Truist Club? It'll only cost you, $15,000.
Yeah, but what would I get for $15,000, Scott? What are the benefits of the Truist Club?
You have a lot of empty seats next to you.
Could some of my good time trickle down onto some of the poors in front of me?
Per Reaganomics, the answers to that is yes.
Jeez. All right. Chris Bassett of it all aside, can we just talk for a second about some of the other pitching? I just want to stop and talk about how impressive Brandon Young has been this season.
Yeah. Jake, is Brandon Young the most valuable Oriole right now?
He might be. He absolutely might be. And I was so wrong about what Brandon Young might bring to this club. I think we were both wrong.
I think we had basically written him off, similar to what we did last year with Trevor Rogers. And so it's like, he's going to be a AAA arm, and he'll come up occasionally to a spot start, but he is who he is, and he's not going to be anything more than a fifth starter.
Here's the funny thing: I said that I thought that his ceiling was Dean Kramer. I feel like he's pitching right now to Dean Kramer's ceiling.
Ooh, see that's very interesting. Because I think if you look at the peripherals and stuff like that, I think there's a lot of similarities to prior Dean seasons where Dean certainly wasn't a great pitcher, but he was a consistent pitcher. I think you're absolutely right. I think there's a lot of parallels to Dean Kramer, and I think you have to treat Brandon Young on that basis. And it's great that he's having success right now, but I think, looking at what he's throwing and how he's having success, he certainly looks like a Major League Baseball pitcher. He certainly looks like a mid to back end starter, which I think we could say that's Dean Kramer.
Listen, a 4-5 has a ton of value. A 4-5 who can occasionally give you 3 starts.
Sure.
Huge.
And again,
huge.
Going deep into games, I think is the biggest deal. Again, outside of wins and losses, coming out and consistently being able to get through 7 innings is just a massive boon for this team that is, we'll call it struggling out of the pen in terms of depth.
How long is it going to be before we say Dean Kramer can aspire to be Brandon Young?
We'll see. I don't know. I'll have to think about that one.
Elsewhere in pitching, starting to see some signs of life from Trevor Rogers. A couple of good starts.
Kinda. Like the command is getting better. And I think that's going to be the theme of the rest of the third base. But yeah, the command has gotten better. And it's amazing what happens. Like when the Orioles pitchers there went on a string of really good pitching. So it came down to you minimize the walks, you have good command, the stuff plays, everything works well. So Yeah, it's getting a feel for pitches and the starts that folks are coming out, whether it be Bradish or others that we're going to be talking about. When the command is not there, it's some truly horrific baseball that is being played.
And that rolls right into, I'm going to ask you for a determination, Scott.
Sure.
Can we say on this, the 12th of June, 2026, the year of our Lord, Cal Ripken, can we say that Shane Baz is fixed?
I wish I could. I think there's some intriguing signs, but I cannot say as of this moment that Shane Baz is fixed. But I do think that we have seen glimpses of what the Orioles hoped he was going to be when they traded for him. But I don't think we can say that Shane Baz is fixed.
What could you possibly need from the man? He has given you everything a couple of times now.
Yeah.
And really, isn't a couple of times now all we need in this world?
Do I need to remind you that Ubaldo Jimenez was able to put it together a couple times every so often?
First of all, you get that name out of your mouth right now.
Do I need to point out that Kevin Gregg was an effective closer in some instances?
There's about to be a fight on this podcast. The last Bird's Eye View podcast. Oh my goodness. Kevin Gregg. How dare you, sir? First of all, how dare you?
How dare you? All right. Do we want to go to the dugout? Do we want to go into the stands? Because again, like it's been bad baseball, so we're just like it.
No, you know what?
Viewers can't get to home plate. So.
I'm gonna live between We're So Back and I Hate This Team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say let's go. Let's go to home plate.
Perfect.
Let's go to home plate. Let's do it.
What do you want to talk about?
Everything.
What?
Back in the old days, we would play some Alex Trebek with the Sexiest Potpourri.
Sexiest Potpourri for 500? Oh, yeah, you're going to love it.
I say let's do a quick round of Potpourri.
Yeah.
People are going to have no idea how disturbingly accurate that was to the sound clip. Go back and listen to the first season of Bird's Eye View.
Yeah.
Let's talk first about Trey Mancini's return to the majors. How fun is that?
Absolutely amazing, and it's great to see him back in majors, and it's great to see him getting RBIs and making moments for himself. Like super awesome for him.
Social media showed that first at bat where he drove in a run. That's great. He went 3 for 4 that night. Trey Mancini had a storybook night, and he is fondly remembered here in Birdland. Not for surviving cancer. That had so little to do with what we loved about him. And then on top of that, surviving cancer. But to see him persevere through his career nearly ending.
Yeah.
And to be able to come back and play at the major league level, have success, even for a brief moment, and be embraced by the baseball community. That I think is the thing that is so great about that, because I saw the clip from Major League Baseball's account.
Sure.
It wasn't, oh, look at this former Oriole Birdland. It was baseball finds Trey Mancini's return to the majors to be notable. How can you not be romantic about baseball? The Orioles might not be helping me. Trey Mancini, holy smokes.
Great story. Great story. Absolutely. You know, there's been a lot of, we'll call it commentary on the broadcast again. We haven't got to see Kevin Brown that much because, again, he was out doing...
on assignment.
On assignment, doing softball, doing it immaculately. But we've been seeing a lot of folks come on, and there was a lot of commentary in regards to these folks. Let's start with Brian Roberts, or hashtag the Brian Roberts Watch. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
You are just sounds of old tonight.
Sounds of old. I mean, welcome to Bird's Eye View. There's a lot of feedback about Brian Roberts being a little too talkative. Here's what I got out of this matter. Like, I was listening to Brian Roberts. It seemed to me like he had overly studied and just wanted to be like, here's everything that I have learned, and I'm going to have my chance to talk. And the organization's actually talking to me and sharing information with me. So I'm going to try to sneak in here and give a little bit of knowledge in terms of what's going on with the organization. He did not hit the pause button very often. And maybe a part of it's just like, he's just like, well, like Ben McDonald and Palmer never stopped talking. So maybe I'll do the same thing. But there's a different, I don't know, there's a different pace. And again, I love Brian Roberts. I actually found some of the things that he said very insightful. But I do think that he sometimes talked over the place. That's what I would say.
I think that Brian Roberts struggles with the fact that he doesn't regularly call baseball games.
Yeah.
He's a former Major League player, former member of the organization, has a lot to say. I think that he does not have a good command of the flow of a broadcast. And either he's going to be given the opportunities to do more and find that flow. Think about Mike Bordick.
Sure.
when he first started.
Yeah.
Weapons grade terrible. By the end of his stay, I think he was fine.
But Bordick was weapon grade terrible because like he would read the teleprompter. Like I don't see Brian Roberts doing that. I just think that Brian Roberts is like, I'm having a conversation, but I may not be aware of everything that is going on in the moment and the pace of how you call a game.
Sure, not the same problem.
Right.
I'm just saying he was not good at it, and he got better.
Yeah.
I think Brian Roberts is either going to be given the opportunity to get better, or we're going to get more of this.
Yeah, I just felt like listening to him. Cool. Another fellow individual with the A to the D to the H to the D is the best way to describe it.
First of all, he's a beautiful man. Salt and pepper works for him, but
So is his wife.
being one of... I think that Brian Roberts has a very good chance of being my favorite Oriole.
Ooh, that's a big statement.
I do think so, because he was the only reason to watch some really awful teams.
You're right. I mean, during Dark Ages baseball,
he
he was your MVO multiple seasons over.
He was the preeminent leadoff hitter in baseball. He was a threat to steal bases at will, especially third base. He played an adequate to okay to good second base.
Sure.
He was the all-star starter in 2005. Brian Roberts, for a little while, was the only reason to feel good about Orioles baseball in a time where I really wanted to love Orioles baseball. So I will simply say, shut up. He's got a lot to say. Just listen.
Listen, I get it, Jake. A former Yankee is your favorite Baltimore Oriole. I get it.
Oh, man. That's not cool. Can we talk about some other bits of the broadcast? Kevin Brown was the play-by-play guy in the ESPN broadcast, which I thought was phenomenal.
Sure.
By the way.
Absolutely.
Sucks for the Mariners fans. I'm sure they're like, why is the Oriole guy doing the
I think Kevin did a really nice job in terms of playing and talking about the Mariners more so than would be typical in most broadcasts like that. Like I said, when it's a home game or like Apple TV or elsewhere, like they are very much like, let's talk about the home team. I think Kevin went out of his way to really talk about the Mariners and the organization.
I think Kevin Brown showed off why I'm so terrified of losing him to a national presence.
There's no doubt that he is a very talented individual, and someday he is going to get that opportunity if Major League Baseball decides to go that direction in terms of doing national broadcast, or if we just are going to be in this constant standpoint of like, hey, it's like the NFL where all rights are owned by Major League Baseball. We'll see what happens, but Kevin Brown was amazing on national TV as he always is.
Here was my favorite moment from that broadcast. Kevin Brown's what turned into passionate pitch for the All-Star game to return to the city of Baltimore and Camden Yards, and a perfect segue with the Ken Griffey moment in the home run derby. But he got through his pitch, and whoever it was that was in the booth with him was like, well, that was a pretty good ad for bringing the All-Star game to Baltimore. He's like, yeah, it didn't start that way, but yeah, sure was.
Sure was.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah.
Good work, KB. Last question about broadcasting.
Yeah.
Ryan Ripken.
Yeah.
Appeared in the broadcast booth a couple times now.
Yeah.
Is there a chance that Ryan Ripken can become more than nepotism?
No.
Okay.
The answer to this is no.
Okay. You don't think that there is anything in there where he can be an interesting presence in the Orioles media sphere?
Does Ryan Ripken interest you whatsoever?
No, but I have very specific tastes.
That is the understatement of this podcast, is what's described. But there's nothing about Ryan Ripken that I'm like, oh yeah, I want to turn in and listen to that. I mean, is it great that he gets certain guests on his show and stuff like that with his connections? Sure, that's great. But like, there's nothing insightful there that I'm like, that is an individual that I want to hear for 3 hours straight.
Okay. I will be curious to see how often the Orioles go to that particular well.
Well, I mean, I think it's private equity and nepotism. It's going to happen a lot. It's all good.
Fair enough. Let me just dig around here in the potpourri bowl and see what else I can find. I just want to take a note and say they're not my favorite.
Sure.
I have mentioned
you've said that
time and again. But the City Connect jerseys really seem to have connected to folks in and around the city. I haven't seen them all over the place.
Folks like Cream.
They do indeed. But it's not just the City Connect jerseys. It's a whole it's a whole integrated suite of apparel. The Orioles have allowed Nike to do a pretty decent job of advertising and selling a product with something related to their name on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, good for them.
Good for them.
Good for them. And since we're talking about clothes,
yep,
today is
because Bird's Eye View is all about clothing and apparel and hosiery.
We are about sports aesthetics in a big way. I'm going to tomorrow's game. It's the Saturday game against the Padres and the soccer jersey giveaway.
Oh, you're a huge soccer fan. I mean, you must be super excited about the World Cup, right?
Yeah, really excited about that. The jersey, the giveaway kit. Did I get that right?
It's a kit.
Okay.
Yes.
I would like to give
Alan Smith and Sam Dingman would be so proud of you right now.
I would like to give it the boot.
Again,
Because
perfect use of nomenclature once again.
I do not understand what they were going for. It's red and navy blue. Were they going for a USA theme?
I think they're going for USA theme.
Because it doesn't scream USA. It screams your standard Little League fare.
Welcome to USA Soccer.
Okay. Maybe I don't know enough about the subject. They should have gone with orange and black. This should have been an Orioles theme.
Have you heard any of the USA Soccer chants for this World Cup?
There's no chance that I've heard the chants.
Okay. You should, when we finish this episode, you should Google USA Soccer chants for the World Cup. You will be affirmed in my statement of Little League.
Oh my
Once
goodness.
you hear it, you're going to be like, that's what you came up with? Really?
Great.
Yeah.
That's just great. I think it's dumb. I think that it should be an Orioles jersey.
They've done Orioles jerseys before. I think they're trying to do it for World Cup for the USA. America 250, etc. It is what it is. I'm not gonna be too upset by it. Again, you're getting it on Saturday. It's a perfect item to sell on eBay or Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, it's a great Nationals jersey. That's
Correct.
what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, kit. It's a great. All right, so that is around the bases. We've gone all the way around. Let's take a quick break. Come back and maybe find out since we've been gone, who's been good, who's been bad, and who was ugly.
Since we've been gone.
All right, Scotty. Good, bad, and the ugly. I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'm dating this back to 5/24, which is the last recording that we did. And my good is going to go to Colton Cowser, who has had a great couple of weeks. And it started with that string of home runs in big situations, and then he's really kept the foot to the pedal, if you will. In that time, he is second on the team in weighted runs created plus with 173. But here's the thing. 173 in weighted runs created plus with a BABIP of only 250.
Hey,
he is really packing it in.
That's all those home runs.
I think I was going to say he's got 6 home runs in that time, which probably has something to say about that. But again, during that time, he's done everything that you could have possibly hoped, which was great because I was ready to run him out on the rail.
This is a guy that, again, prior to this, we were like, is he going to have to go down to AAA? Like, what's his position? I mean, yes, we like him defensively, but if he's just going to get change of full the entire time, he's got to go back to AAA. So maybe he is pulling a Cedric Mullins. And again, he doesn't have to be this hot the entire season, but it's great to get 2 to 3 week stretches of this every so often. Ride it while you got it.
He is putting together a season-saving stretch of games, brick by Lego brick. One thing that I do want to mention is that Albernaz has him playing in the corners a lot more.
Yep.
And I'm really impressed with him in the corners.
Agree.
I think that he is, when he's hitting, an adequate center fielder.
Yeah.
He's made a couple plays in the corners, particularly in right field, where I've said, that is phenomenal. And I
think that's his position. Like, again, he moved to center because of Cedric.
Sure.
But we saw him for so much time there on the corner. So you just look at him both in left field and right field, and you're just like, it fits better there. Like you said, he can play a I would say an above average center field, but it's certainly like when he plays left field or right field, I would put him, up there with a top 5 outfielder in terms of performance and ability.
And I think with the dimensions, I think left field in Camden Yards is now kind of difficult to play.
I agree.
And he cut a ball off and made a play where he saved 90 feet.
Yeah.
And I looked at that and I said, that is really getting the most out of Colton Cowser in maybe a way that you're not getting in center.
Yeah.
So this past couple of weeks, Colton Cowser's been good, and I'm delighted to see it.
Yeah. We talked about him before, but Brandon Young obviously has been very good. Over, the 2-week period of time, 2.25 ERA, 2.75 FIP, good for 0.6 FWAR. Ks per 9 at 7.2, walks are at 1.35. But again, minimizing the home run, minimizing the big damage. Overall, Brandon Young is not going to wow you, but he's going to kind of have that bulldog mentality of, gritting it out and getting through it. So he's obviously made a lot of adjustments with, pitching grip. He's seeing that in terms of vertical and horizontal movement. Kudos to Brandon Young. Let's see how long he can ride this. But certainly there really should be no question that we want to see more Brandon Young, even when Dean Kramer is healthy. Yeah, it's a great problem to have. So,
and the other thing that we talked about all season is that this is a player who's stepping up at a time of opportunity.
Yeah,
there have been so many opportunities because of injury and lack of performance where the next guy up has not stepped up. So good for him.
Yeah.
My bad for this couple of weeks is going to go to Kyle Bradish, who's had back-to-back pretty ugly starts. 4 innings pitched and 5 earned runs in both of those outings. Just 1 homer on the 6th against Toronto, but in last night's game against Seattle, 3 home runs given up. Small sample size, yada, 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 but just back-to-back really, really disappointing starts. After you could start to see maybe he was starting to turn the corner. If you look at a couple of starts back, 7, 6, 5.1, 6, 7 innings pitched, you go back to the earned runs, no more than 3, and in a couple of cases 0. You start thinking to yourself, oh, Kyle Bradish might be getting there. And 1 step forward, 1 step back. Kyle Bradish, clean it up this couple of weeks, bad.
I'm going to go with my bad being Anthony Nunez. He's figuring it out. I mean, he's a rookie, but again, he's coming to some really clutch spots and not been able to deliver. But again, over this period of time, a 6.35 ERA, a FIP of 4.34. But again, he's just getting hit too hard. Like a 1.59 home runs per 9. The peripherals from the Ks per 9 and the walks per 9 are not bad. But again, just maybe a little bit too predictable. A little too much over the plate. Anthony Nunez is going to struggle. He's going to figure it out. But right now, especially with, a depleted bullpen, it's a bad situation for him and for the bullpen. So he gets my bad for this episode.
I was going to say Anthony Nunez probably be a lot better with better starters.
Yeah.
My ugly, Scott, I wonder. We have at times retired certain players from the ugly category. The first one I can remember may have been Ubaldo Jimenez.
That sounds right.
It may have been Kevin Gregg.
No, I don't think it was. I think it's Ubaldo.
We have retired players in the past from ugly. I'm going to recommend, is it time to retire Tyler O'Neill from the ugly category?
I think Tyler O'Neill is an interesting aspect because yes, I think it's probably the right time. But again, he's not been terrible as of recently.
Since we last donned these here microphones,
sure,
he has a weighted runs created plus of 79.
Okay.
That is the high water mark for his season.
Okay.
And that's not a very high water mark. Tyler O'Neill has been pointless this season.
Yeah.
And with everybody else around him going down, he's had to play him.
Had the opportunity.
And honestly, if Dylan Beavers was healthy right now, I would think that Tyler O'Neill would be at risk of just being cut.
I think the Orioles are going to stubbornly just continue to play Tyler O'Neill, assuming that he is going to break out of it. And they would option Dylan Beavers to the minors and say, we're going to try to make Tyler O'Neill work.
Tyler O'Neill's not even somebody I have negative emotions about. I'm just so sick of seeing him. I'm so sick of seeing him at the plate. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. And we had every opportunity to say, oh, last year was an aberration. He wasn't healthy, couldn't get right, blah, blah, blah. He's toast for the Orioles. And watch him go have a great career somewhere else after he's done.
I think that's what the Orioles are concerned about. I mean, again, over the past, week or so, he has started to hit some doubles, but again, no home runs. Like, no home runs. So this is a guy that you specifically signed to an whale on left-handed pitching.
On opening day, apparently.
Yeah. And no home runs. So yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from. I think the Orioles are going to play this out to the entire season. I don't think Tyler O'Neill is going anywhere anytime soon. He may be gone at the end of the season.
Let me ask you something.
Sure.
How would you feel if I told you that how would you feel if I told you that for the 2026 season, his batting average was 265?
I'd be surprised that it's that good.
Okay, it's not.
Yeah.
What would you say if I told you that for the 2026 season, 265 was his slugging percentage?
All right, that sounds closer to being what I would expect it to be.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
I'm calling him ugly.
Yep.
And I am formally submitting his name. Yeah. I'm formally submitting his name for ugly retirement.
That's fine. I'm fine with that.
Heretofore, for all time, Tyler O'Neill is hereby ugly. Declared ugly forever.
I will point out that Ubaldo was able to come back and be good in few instances while still having the ugly award permanently attached to his body. We'll see what happens. I still think Tyler O'Neill is going to have at least one good week this season. The rest is going to be garbage, but there's going to be one good week.
I'll wait for that.
Yeah.
I'll wait for that.
Jake, we talked about the pitching, and we talked about, what if the Orioles would have signed Ranger Suarez? What would have happened if they signed Framber Valdez? At the end of the day, the offseason does matter. But what's most important is your core has to deliver. And the ugly for me continues to go to Gunnar Henderson. Gunnar Henderson continues to play not at the level that he needs to be playing. Over the past 2 weeks, he's got an 87 weighted runs created plus, a 216 average, a slugging percentage of 275.
Tyler O'Neill territory.
Tyler O'Neill territory.
TOT.
So again, you look at Gunnar, you look at what he's doing out on the base pass, you look at what he's doing in the field, and you're just like, this is the guy that we were expecting to pay $500+ million to, and he just does not look like that player. Do I think Gunnar is that player? Yes, I absolutely think that Gunnar is that player. But you have to get to a certain point where, we are midway through June, and Gunnar does not look like Gunnar, and it's ugly. And honestly, I'll say it point blankly: if Gunnar does not turn it around and become that MVP-like player that he used to be, the Orioles are not getting to the playoffs. If Gunnar is able to do that and is able to turn into that MVP-like player over the second half of the year, the Orioles will go to the playoffs.
You heard it here first, folks.
But this team will live and die by Gunnar Henderson. So we'll see what happens. If Gunnar continues to play the way he does, no playoffs. If Gunnar turns it on, absolutely going to the playoffs. No doubt about it in my mind.
Okay. But you're not retiring him as ugly.
Absolutely not.
You just hope that he never appears in the category again.
I am hoping that Gunnar proves us all wrong and he sends the Orioles to the playoffs.
Okay. What if Tyler O'Neill turns himself into a 4-WAR player?
If that happens, I will. If Tyler O'Neill turns himself into a 4-WAR player
in 2026,
I will go get a Tyler O'Neill tattoo. That's how confident I am. That's not going to happen.
Oh man, I have never rooted for a player harder in my life. Okay, well that's the good.
I think I'm going to get. It's going to say Tyler O'Neill leg day.
Oh man! All right, that's the good, the bad, and it got ugly, folks.
He lifts things up and puts things down.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll blow the save worse than it's already done. Scotty, every time we get together on these airwaves, We mentioned at the very end of the show that you can contact us via many sources, including email. And boy, howdy, did we get a doozy lately. I would like to tell you all about it. We were introduced to Martin and Jackie of Birmingham, England. Not Birmingham, Alabama, my friends. That's Birmingham, England. Who claim to be, and I had to rub my glasses to make sure that I didn't have a smudge there, big fans, they said, of anything Baltimore, particularly the Orioles. They have been traveling to Baltimore from Birmingham to visit our very own Charm City and see the Orioles for the past 30 years.
Wow.
That seems crazy. They said that their first game was June 25th, 1995, a loss, Martin says, as can be expected. I looked up that game.
Okay.
That was a game against the Boston Red Sox.
Okay.
It was a game that featured the Orioles' Kevin Brown against
not that Kevin Brown.
No, not that Kevin Brown.
No.
A different Kevin Brown. Not that Kevin Brown.
Right.
A third Kevin Brown.
Was Mo Vaughn in the lineup for the Boston Red Sox?
Let me tell you, yes, he was. He batted third and he played first base.
Yeah.
The starting
You
pitcher.
can tell I'm a 90s kid.
The starting pitcher for the Boston Red Sox, Roger Clemens.
Yeah.
This was not a banner day for the Orioles. They gave up 2 in the second, another in the third. They came back storming to score 1 run in the 5th and then gave up an additional run in the 8th inning. It was not, it was not great. It was not great. But you had the likes of here's the starting lineup for the Baltimore Orioles.
Let me see how many I can guess. Right. So Chris Hoyles.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yes. He did catch.
First baseman Rafael Palmeiro.
Yes.
Second baseman, it's 95, so it's not Alomar. I'm gonna give up on second base. Who's at second base?
Well, there were 2. It was Manny Alexander.
Okay.
Who was then lifted for a pinch hitter of Brett Barbary.
Okay. Shortstop is going to be Cal.
That is correct.
Third base.
This is a hard one.
I got nothing on this one.
Jeff Manto.
Oh, I remember Jeff Manto. Center's obviously going to be Brady.
Center field was not Brady Anderson.
Ooh. Who was in center that game?
Curtis Goodwin.
I remember Curtis Goodwin, but I would never have guessed Curtis Goodwin. Is Tony Tarasco potentially in the outfield?
He is not in this instance.
Okay. So who is my left fielder and right fielder for this game?
Well, your left fielder used to be an executive for the Baltimore Orioles.
Okay.
Incredible sideburns.
And that's not Brady.
It was Brady in left field.
Oh, Brady in left field. Okay. Gotcha.
And right field was Jeffrey Hammonds.
Oh, Jeffrey Hammonds. Oh, so one of the rare games of Jeffrey Hammonds.
He was the one, apparently.
Okay.
Designated hitter, Hall of Famer.
Harold Baines.
Yep. And lifted for a pinch hitter of Kevin Bass.
Kevin Bass. That's a pretty bad team.
Yeah. Well,
that's a pretty bad team.
They were not as good as the Boston Red Sox led by one Roger Clemens that day. But so Martin and Jackie are here from Birmingham. They're having a great time in Baltimore. They're going to 2 Orioles games. The first has already happened. It was on the 9th against the Mariners. That was a loss. That's a bummer.
Okay.
They're also going to see the Padres on Sunday. That's June 14th. I just wanted to give a big bird's eye view shout out because anybody who's passionate enough about this fair city that we love so much to go out of their way to come here is one thing.
Yeah.
To go out of their way to come here for 30 years in a transatlantic way.
Yeah.
Those are the real ones.
To make that a summer voyage for 30 years, that is super impressive.
I love that not only that they love birdland, but the birds as well.
I mean, at least go to like Aruba or something like that if you're going to cross across the ocean.
Aruba's got nothing on Baltimore, my friend.
I mean, I just figured, they might run into Sidney Ponson on that.
Yes. That is, as it says here in this email, Martin's favorite Oriole, Sidney Ponson.
If you go to a few bars in Aruba, you will run into Sidney Ponson.
That is a real thing. So, Martin and Jackie, again, thanks for piping up to say hello. Thank you for loving our fair city. I hope that you have a great time. Please fill us in on all of the happenings. I'm very sorry that we can't run into you this weekend. I'm going to be down there at the ballpark on Saturday. Our Sunday is booked to high heaven. Otherwise, I would love to buy you all of the local brews.
And I have all the dance recitals in the world. But I will probably see Bob from The Verge there as well, because his daughter is also dancing all this weekend.
Oh, these are your daughters dancing, not you and Bob?
Well, me and Bob might dance as well. I mean, we'll see what happens. We're not as flexible as our daughters. Let's just say that much.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet.
All right. So, Jackie, Martin, thanks so much. Enjoy the best that Baltimore has to offer. And that is our show. Remember, you can find this and our entire catalog of indispensable episodes at birdseyeviewbaltimore.com.
Bird's Eye View is available for download wherever it is you get your podcasts. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, and many others. Please remember to rate, review the show. We appreciate the feedback. It encourages other people to listen for the first time.
Come and get social with us. As has been shown, you can email us at contact@birdseyeviewbaltimore.com.
We will respond to you.
In a somewhat timely fashion.
Yeah, somewhat timely fashion.
You can check us out all over social media, where we're at Bird's Eye View BAL just about everywhere, I believe. And with that, Baltimore and beyond, I will bid you all a fond adieu.
Good night, Baltimore. Be safe out there. Let's go O's.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.